listen to this every day, and I think I do. Hi, if you are listening, this is Denise Decameron, and this is Art Books Live. We're having internet issues, I guess, because I had to reconnect and refresh and all that good stuff. So, I'm going to go to YouTube and check it out, make sure everything is coming up. The cold train is a little loud tonight. Yes, it is. But I'm going to be talking about audiobooks, and I've got my trusty dusty, or actually very clean, planner, my accordion planner that my daughter bought me. So I'll be taking some notes. Tonight, the only thing that I have on the menu is discussing my lateness with the Decameron, and really didn't have a chance to read it today because life got in the way, and we'll talk about that. And also the new editions from the library, that is. I didn't purchase anything. I've been a good girl. And I didn't buy any books or audio. Definitely not buying audiobooks, only on Audible. And we'll talk about that too, because one of them is out of this world. And let me turn this down, because now I'm actually hearing myself and seeing myself. I had some reconnecting issues. I'm not sure what happened. Hopefully it was just a YouTube thing and not a Denise thing, and I'm hoping that I can actually get this together. And I was playing around with this, watching one of the videos, and I actually got to see the captions so that you can understand what I'm saying, because sometimes I speak really, really fast or not as clear as I would like because I'm using some sort of dialect and vernacular that don't nobody understand. So anyway, I'm looking at the words go across the screen. I'm like, I did not say that. That's not what it says. That's you need to learn black girl vernacular. You need to learn my dialect because that is not what I said. Hey, sweetie, cold train blowing, baby. Yes. Let me see. Because Columbus, we are friends on the Goodreads, and I actually talked about you on my channel talking about Goodreads when I was talking about all my friends on Goodreads, and I was pulling up your Goodreads account. We were stalking you, and I really enjoyed doing that. That was fun. And then we have mutual friends, and so it was really cool. Welcome to the community. Welcome me to your community, because I'm a part of you and you're a part of me and we are part of each other and all that good stuff. And I'm going through my accordion like you're not here. Now I'm going to turn him down. But I had to have that. You hear me? Okay. So I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see what you are saying. Oh. I'm telling you, I listen to the Cold Train every day. Every single day of my life. And his birthday. So happy born day to my play husband. Yeah. So anyway, we are going to bring up who's on with me. And hi, Kia. I went to you. I stalked you a little bit today too on Goodreads. And I love your picture, and you've got your initial and Danae. So I was like, yep, that's her. How you doing? So glad you're here. And Denise Rader, what's up? Hi, sister dear. And so if you guys are not friends with Columbus, I'm friends with Columbus on Goodreads, and also Kay Denise, and also Denise Rader. So if you guys are my friends, might as well be friends with each other, right? So check each other out, because that's how we do it here on Booktube Live. So I went to the library today, and sometimes I think I just go to the library just so I can get some free stuff and not have to spend no money. I know I'm not the only one. I really know I'm not the only one. So please tell me I'm not the only one. Just go ahead and say it. Go on and say it. You just go in there and you walk and stuff. You get things. You get to go up and down the aisles and surf and shop and pull things out and try it and look at the DVDs, look at the audios, look at the beautiful hardcover books they have that nobody checks out. There's like a big old section of history, and I like that section, but I never check them out. And half of them you can't check out. They kind of want you to read it there, take your notes, and do your research and all that good stuff there. But I do like surfing them and putting my phalanges all over them and all that good stuff. So, hi, you're not good. I love the library. Thank you so much, Denise. Hello. So, let me show you what I got. And then we're going to talk about something that just kind of, two of them that I'm listening to. One was from the audio checkout the last time, and they automatically renew them on at my library. They didn't do that years ago. You used to have to go to the library or call in or some sort of way, go to the library, recheck things out. Everything's all perfectly simple nowadays. And so now you don't even have to recheck them out. Your library sends you an email as a courtesy. We've rechecked these items out for you. I'm like, good. Because I wasn't coming up in there and I forgot all about going onto the internet and rechecking them out. Thank you very much for not, saving my little 25-cent dollars. 25-cent coins. But anyways, these are from the old checkout. Now, you guys know I finished reading. Hi, Denise. Hi, skeptical reader. Hi, brilliant mind. How are you? That's what I'm going to call you from now on. And Angela. Hi, Angela. Walton Raji. Hi there. Is that Angela from Instagram? Hi, Angela. If that is you. And because, I know I'm a little blind and my laptop's over here, so I'm going to be going in and out and kind of looks like I'm dancing. Just kind of. But anyway, so these are from the checkout that I had. And I finished Michael Chabon. And I was telling you, it was almost like I was doing too much. I was calling him Michael Chabon. And when I listened to the audiobook, it said Michael Chabon. So I was like, okay, thank you so much for that. But I'm not the only one. I've heard people say Michael Chabon, and the narrator said Michael Chabon, and I really liked it. I gave it 3 stars. He's telling the story of writing a book about his grandparents and so forth and so on, and it's really good. It goes through wars, and it goes through mental health issues with women. And I don't know if it's just you guys, but do you notice a lot of older movies like in the 50s and 40s or maybe 50s, I would say 50s, when the women were in the household and they didn't work that much. And literally, it's not my opinion. These are the stories that are being put out there. So the women were not working. They had children, maybe only 2 kids. Okay. And the husband was in, the war or working hard on Wall Street, or always a businessman or a soldier or something. And the woman was bat-ass crazy. They're always mentally ill. There's so many stories out there. And so the Moon Glow deals with that. And I'm thinking, I just watched a movie like that. And I just remember too many stories like that. I know I'm not the only one that have noticed that. Why are the women always going crazy? So they're putting them in hospitals, or there's always these crazy horror movies where the mother has gone crazy and the child is thinking he's seeing his mother on the street, and she's singing in a white gown looking like an angel, and then she's this creepy dead creature, but she was away because she was crazy. It's always that element. What is that? Somebody tell me, and I'm going to look over here and see if you answered my question, because I know I'm not the only one that has seen that. And I'm frozen over here. So if you guys can see me, YouTube I might just have to refresh and see what you guys are saying. But I see nothing because I just refreshed. But anyway, so I'm going to go on because my phone is actually keeping up. So now I see myself because I refreshed. I'm going to have to mute that. So the skeptical reader says, I love the auto renewal because, well, my A is lazy, but also I feel like my library probably deserves some money for how often I bother them. Skeptical reader, I spilled a little bit of coffee on Chintu when I returned it. And the lady was like, I had a fee of $27, and I know I had some late items, right? And it was just like 25 cents a day. I was like, excuse me, what's the $27 for? That was a brand new book and you stained the book. And she was trying to be funny or something. She takes the Chintu book, she goes back and get it, and she does like this. And it's stained and it's stained and it's stained. She couldn't find the stain. There was no staining inside. It was right here, just on the bottom, and it didn't even get into the pages. And I said, that's all right, because it's a good book, and I might reread it. Let me just pay, because I know I have checked out so much stuff, and you guys probably just, I don't mind. It's like a rental fee to me. I don't mind, but don't sit up here and act like I done damaged that book. I'm going to show y'all that book is in the living room, sitting with my other books looking pretty. But it's just on the bottom. It didn't even get inside. So when she was flipping through trying to make her little point that I have purchased this book, I was like, oh, so the stain's not inside. Okay, it's okay. Take my card. It's okay. Because I'm going to get some stuff and y'all going to recheck it out and y'all just going to embellish me for the rest of the dang year. I'm not going to be late with nothing. So anyway, and hi Denise, let's see, let me scroll down, you guys, because I did refresh. Isn't it crazy? That's what I said. Because I felt like, number one, it's the library. Suck it up, because this is what you do. You lend out books and there's going to be some trial and error here. So I'm thinking it's not your book, not personally your book. Now, there are going to be so many people. Now, come to think of it, when I got off of Booktube that one time and I was walking 12 miles and doing all whatever, I read Born to Run. And then I checked out some other runners' books just to keep myself motivated, right? I wasn't running, I was jogging, just to keep it straight. There's too much of this to be running. So anyway, I was jogging a lot. And I was reading those books and it was very inspiring, how to plant your feet and how to do all this stuff. And one of the books, the lady goes, "Oh my, this is really tore up." You know, the front cover looked like some kid had just like gnawed into it or something. And I was hoping it wasn't no furry creature. But she goes, "Oh, this is bad." So she goes back, and this is at the downtown library, a different one, the one I go to usually because I work downtown. She goes back, she puts this sticker on it, plastic, kind of like library gooish sticker, and she writes on it, "Damage, upon checkout." So when I return this book, she know I didn't do it. And she says, "Now I'll give you the option. I can try to order another one, a cleaner one and whatever." And she had covered up the whole thing. And I was like, "No, that's fine." And then I got home and I was like, "No, I don't think I want to read that book." Because I don't know what chewed it, a child or something else. So I took it back. I kept it in a bag and I took it back. And she's like, "Oh, okay." And I told her, I said, I didn't read it. I said, "I think you guys may want to order another one." But whoever checked that book or gave that book in, they definitely didn't have to pay. And they're still renting it out to people or, letting people check it out. So I just didn't think that was fair. But I really loved Chintu. And I read after Chintu, because of the colonialism that we talked about the other day, it led me to read Frantz Fanon. So really enjoy that. And now I have the book. Yay. Angela, no, this is Angela from Baltimore. B-more. Do you guys call it B-more? Is it just people on the outside that think that's so cool? Or do you guys call it B-more? That's what I want to know. And Columbus Moore said, "I miss taking 4 books back to the library that were due today." Ooh, Columbus. But I love my library. So I gladly will pay. It's the library, and Born to Run is a great running book. Yes, it is. And I learned a lot about that. I forget if I can't remember what they're called. I just don't want to. Gosh, I can't remember it. But when he went to Mexico, and they were running like flat-footed or just making these sandals and just running barefooted rather instead of flat-footed. But it was awesome. It was awesome. And then I watched the documentary. So I read the book and I watched the documentary and I just absolutely loved it. But then he's on YouTube doing all these interviews and I was just watching them. I'm thinking, when I read the book, I'm like, he's telling the whole book. So if you have never read Born to Run, you could probably look him up on, or look the book up because I can't think of his name right now and I'd have to Google it. My memory is not that great. But Born to Run, and I forget his name. It almost came to me. But I think he did a TED Talks. He does a lot of other, you'll just see him if you look up Born to Run on YouTube. And he talks about the whole story and it's all in the book. And it's worth checking out the book. But if you just want to get a little taste of it. Yes, the Mexican running tribe, and I can't think of the name. Hope to get to the book festival tomorrow, weather permitting, in Baltimore. So, okay, she says, folks not from Baltimore call it Be More. You see how that just popped in my head? I keep hearing that. And I'm thinking, what do they call it? Because that's just us on the outside. That's funny. I love that. Denise, you owe fees, but we only pay $1 for any amount. Exactly, but I think ours is like 25 cents a day. And I think CDs maybe a little bit more and DVDs maybe a little bit more, but I just haven't checked out many DVDs. The two DVDs that I did check out, child, that was on Netflix. So that just, I was like, never mind. I just really don't need that. Plus, I just don't have time for it. And not right now, because there's a lot of stuff that I like to watch and read and listen to. So it's on page 47. Hi, how are you? The only time we have to pay fines at my library is if you never return the book. We don't have late fee. Where you live? Not that I'm gonna stalk you, but your library. Where do you live? That is awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, and it's really cheap, but yeah, I did pay 25 something dollars because my late fees had only come up to about like $2. And I had returned Franz Fanon late and I think an audio. Yeah, the Eric Jerome Dickey was late. So I had two books one book and one audio, and my goodness. That's why I was looking at my email going, what are you talking about? $27. But yeah, I got me a whole book. Gosh, I pay same as Denise, 25 cents a day. Yes, skeptical reader. So we're in the same library zoning or fee zone, at least. I had no idea other places charge fees. So you just out there living in Wonderland and you didn't know we was paying for our little free books at the library. Well, this is why I keep going back, because they're free if you just get them in on time. But if you don't, okay, wait, hold up. Okay, so what if you forget a book and you don't take it back, and say it's in your trunk of your car and you forget all about it, and maybe you sell your car, and then the library is like, hello, remember that Jimmy Carter book you bought, or that Cold Mountain? How about you had that about 3 months ago? Where's our money, or where's our book? So what do? Do they lose a lot of books, or are you guys just turning them in all the way on time all the time? You guys got a good trust system there. Where you live? I need to know. Seriously. It's on page 47. I have no idea. The other, the DVD is DVDs are $1 a day at ours too, Skeptical Reader. And I'm going to stop calling you Skeptical Reader. Her name is Yamini. You're so lucky. Yes, she is lucky. I didn't know that. Albuquerque, New Mexico. There you go. Dang. That's just not fair. I mean, I really don't mind paying the fees, but are you serious? Okay. Well, what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to put down I got a wish list on Amazon. So if you could just go to your library, look at my wish list. I'll give you my address and you can just send me some books. No, I'm not a thief. Not until you say yes, Denise, I don't mind doing that. Okay. But today, the Decameron, and this is my version, and it's really beautiful. I love it, and it's got deckled edges. It's really soft because it's old, but you guys, I really like it. But I'm only on page. Well, I had to start over because I was on page 48, and so when I read a little bit of it, I'm back on page 27, and it's got the nice little ribbon, and I just love that. All these old books are so cool. It's just nice, silky little maroon type of ribbon. So I really like the Decameron, and I really only wanted to focus on finishing up the brief history and the Decameron this month. For those of you who do not know, and I'm still reading the brief history and still reading this, and we only have one more week of September because I read Stephen King. I was listening to other stuff, doing a lot of art. So I'm going to show you the books, or the audio books, and you guys over there cheesing and laughing, but I really would like one of those books, and I got I don't know if I have a good wish list, because one time I had it up there and I thought, oh, somebody bought me a book and I thought it was so sweet, and then I felt guilty. So if you guys out there that are booktubers and you have a wish list and somebody sends you a book off the wish list, do you feel guilty? Like, I literally felt guilty, and I start taking things off of my book, my wish list. And the reason why I felt guilty is because the book is off the chain. It's wonderful. I'm not going to tell you what it is. and I only read a little bit of it, and I kept going, oh, I can't wait to get home to read it, because sometimes I have to read a book in a certain setting. Like, that book was too good. I didn't want to be bothered with people at work and, people coming over. What you doing? My nose is in the dang book I'm reading. So I took it home and I stopped reading. I just picked up something else. It just like slipped my mind. But it's so good. And the young lady blessed me with this book, and I haven't finished it yet. So I feel guilty, and I start taking things off my wish list. Has anybody else done that? Yamini? And it's on page 47. What is your real name? I'm sorry, because I do watch your channel. Because you got all them pretty leathery looking books behind you. That is your channel, right? I bet you it is. How was the King book? Never read him. Have his whole collection. I have read that Stephen King Gunslinger book twice, and I read the graphic novel. And the reason why I read it the second time is because it was the revised edition. That's what I was telling them last night. And the graphic novel was beautiful because I love the artwork. And there's actually artwork in my version. And that video was last night, so I showed you some of the pictures, but I really like it. My favorite Stephen King book is one long time ago, because you guys know how old I am. I read Thinner. That was the first Stephen King book I ever read, and I loved it. It was creepy. This guy was losing weight and becoming thin. It was good. And then I read the Tommyknockers and so forth. Dolores Claiborne is probably still one of my favorite Stephen King books. And so, yeah, he's so Americana but creepy. And then the little novella, which was Shawshank Redemption, genius. Okay, so yeah, love it. I love some of his stuff. Some of it, like the newer stuff. There's only one new one I read, and that was Mr. Mercedes. I didn't care for it as much. I actually really I like his long books. So anyway, whose book reviews do you trust the most? Who, when new books come out. And this is Book Return. Hi, Book Return. How are you? And y'all know my name is Denise Cooper. What is your name? I'm sorry. Denise Rader. Love the movie. Yes. Which movie? Because I know sit up here and talk about Stephen King. Oh, did you go see The Gunslinger? I'm sorry. You got me all. Idris Elba? Is that it? Yes. I don't have a wish list shared. I'd feel guilty if I shared and anyone bought anything, to be honest. See, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And I was just doing the wish list for me. Because before I, was on Booktube, and, I was always shopping on Amazon. And then that whole wish list thing, I was like, oh, I don't know about that. That is so sweet. But like, this book showed up and I was like, oh my goodness. And then another book showed up and I was like, oh my God. But I do like it when the writers send you stuff, then I'm fine with it, because they want you to read their stuff and I don't mind. And, a lot of times, if I received books from a writer that I didn't particularly care for, and they're an independent author, sometimes I would just talk to them by email. There were so many errors that I really couldn't get through this. I'm so sorry. I just want to let you know first, I'm not going to go on and talk about it. It's not like a whole bunch of people watch me, but I still don't feel right talking about it. I just want to talk to you about it. So that has happened. Now I've actually said that, but I'm not going to tell nobody who I was talking to. So those wish list people, I don't mind. And they didn't mind it either, because they wanted some honest feedback. And I'm not a paid editor or anything. It's just, like most of us, we love books. And as we are always into a story in some sort of way, whether it be audio or physical books, we kind of know what we like. And that's all they want to know. They weren't looking for a professional opinion as someone that's paid. They were actually looking for an avid lover of books, a reader, their fan base. And so I gave it to them. So that's what I did. Yes, Idris. Bye, Denise, because you're getting on my nerves with these hot men you always bringing up on this channel. But see, I'm not bringing up the men. You are. Okay? So let's just get that straight. But thank you so very much. Ginger. Awesome. That's a beautiful name. I have a friend in Kansas named Ginger. Went to high school with her. And she's so cool. Yes, it'll just... Thinner. Yes. Oh, the Thinner movie. Yes, that movie was good. But I read the book and I was so darn young. But let me tell you which ones I'm actually into still. Again, I took back the Moonglow, because I did like it and I finished that. Moonglow was very quick. So I'm sure the book is not that big because it was literally not even 10 CDs. So now I'm listening. Actually, let me put this one down because this is the last one I picked up. I also snatched Moonglow and got it on my computer. So thanks, Michael Reeds. I'm not alone in that. This one here, you might not be able to see. Oh, yeah, you can see it. Okay. It's A Curious Mind, and it's The Secret of to a Bigger Life. And it's Brian Grazer. And I didn't know who Brian Grazer was just by reading this name. Because I got the philosophy book and I like to, you know, nerd out on some mental stuff and what have you. And it's very, very short. And two of them are not in here because one of them's in my computer. So I'm on 5 and 6. So 5 and 6 are out. One of them's in my little boom box and the other one's in my laptop because I'm ripping it. And I like it. One thing I don't like, the book is called A Curious Mind. I'm listening to the audio so I can imagine what the book is like. And it's good. But my pet peeve with it is over and over again, he says, and I had a curious mind when I was little. And then, a curious mind is why I'm so into this. And I made this movie and my curious mind got me this. And I said, God dang it. He says that one more time, I'm going to throw the CD out the window. But when he gets past telling you what the title is in his curious mind, then it's pretty good. And I had no idea he was Ron Howard's, the movie producer, director. He's his best friend. So you guys may know him. And it's a very tiny little picture. And as soon as I looked at the picture, I'm like, I know that guy. I know him. So, yeah. And then the narrator is good. The narrator is Norbert Leo Butz, with an introduction by Brian Glazer. So Brian Glazer is constantly saying the same thing over and over and over. And I was like, okay. Anyway, has anybody read that or listened to A Curious Mind? Angela. Hi, Angela. Plus, my friend from Arkansas who went to Texas, was an avid reader. We were reading buddies when she lived in Arkansas. My mommy's from Arkansas, originally from Arkansas. She was a Whitmore, some Whitmores. And awesome. You ever read Bell Hooks, Amiri Baraka, or Ishmael Reed? Ishmael Reed, yes. Amiri Baraka. I've got Slave, the play. I'm sitting over here trying to look at you all over here, but you over here. Slave, which is a play that Leroy Jones, a.k.a. Amiri Baraka, wrote. Yes, Columbus. Love it. And I actually I think the first thing I read wasn't by Amiri Baraka. The first thing I actually read about him, and the way I found out about him, was because my son was, all my kids are poets, so they can write, and I used to write poetry and did the little book thing. But when my son was into poetry and we used to go see him perform on stage, we would, poets sit around and talk about poets. Okay. So we were always talking about Amiri Baraka, the last poets, and so forth and so on. And I think the first book that I read, it was a book about other poets, and he was in there. And I think that was like one of my first learnings of him. And so the only Amiri Baraka book I have is Slave, and it's a play. Don't quote me, but it's very, very thin. It's like this thin, and it's somewhere here. No, it's in the living room, maybe. Gosh. Anyway, I got books out there and everywhere, so let me see what else you guys are talking about. Never listen to audiobooks, Denise Rader. You never listen to... The reason why, and I never used to listen to them either, because I was so just gung-ho and headstrong, like, if it's not a physical book, I don't want it. I was one of those people, but I'm also a painter, so I have to have a story. And so when I'm not listening to John Coltrane and painting or drawing, like today when I was out to the park, I have a new sketchbook that my son bought me. It's 100 pages, 100 sheets rather. And so I'm going to fill up that sucker. And so I'm at the park listening to Coltrane. And then after I listen to Coltrane, it's another audio that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I just canceled my Audible book rental thing. Is it audible.com? It goes along with Amazon. So I have The Underground Railroad was the first thing I got, and I like that. I haven't completely finished it. I know I marked it on my Goodreads because I got it, and I need to go. I need the physical book of that, and it's not. I like the narrator, but not so much with that book. So I kind of want it in my own head and my own sound. And so some audio books just don't work. And whether the narrator is good or not, you have to kind of like be ready for it. But when I'm busy with my hands and like today out there painting, after listening to Coltrane, I turned on Jesmyn Ward. I got Salvage the Bones on my Audible this month, and that's the one I'm listening to. So I loved Trevor Noah. I'm so glad I didn't read that physical book, that I listened to him in his own voice and his words, talking about his relationship, him and his mama, and just growing up being born a crime, basically. It was phenomenal. So, and I don't want to miss anything, you guys. So, Columbus, what is your favorite Bell Hooks book? That's what I want to know. And also Ishmael Reed. Is Ishmael Reed? I think I had a crush on Ishmael Reed. Hold on, you guys. Don't look at my. Don't look. I wanted to get this. No, I'm not gonna back it up. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so this little collection here is nothing but postcards of Black writers. And this is one of the things that I'll be going back to over and over again next year when I'm doing the blackout. And Ishmael Reed is in here. And if I didn't take it out, because I remember I used to buy these all the time, but they were individual. So when I found them all together like this, because I would put them in frames like this, the great Sarah Vaughan. Ah, you see that? It's beautiful. And I just have it like, she's one of the family. I mean, I put it in a frame like she's my mother or sister or something. But anyway, so I've got the great Sarah Vaughan up there looking beautiful. So this is really cool. And I'll just show you some of the pictures in here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. This is Ernest Gaines, very young Ernest Gaines. So this is the kind of things that you'll find in this book. Like, how impressive is that? Don't even have to say that name. You just really don't. And my hometown girl, Miss Gwendolyn Brooks. Yep. Uh-oh. There's a load. So I'm gonna look around. Oh, there he is. See that? I love that picture. And so I take these out when I get them from other people. And this is like one of my, you guys can see that. James and Nate. Yeah. And I still, to this day, name my paintings after my favorite writers. So, that's a little bit of that, but when you put glasses on, I hope you didn't mind the... So, Denise Rader never listened to audiobooks, so I got to scroll down or refresh. Let me refresh it, and then we'll just continue to talk, because when it comes up on the phone, there it goes, it disappears. So, let me make sure I get that up. Mrs. Vaughn was beautiful. Yes, she was. And of course, I remember when Anita Baker came out and everybody was comparing her style of singing. Not her, complete 100%, but just the style of her singing was like most like Sarah Vaughan's. Ha ha ha. I'm reading Queen of Bebop, a new biography of Sarah Vaughan now. See, Columbus. And you want that picture? You're going to have to come and get it. No, but we're going to fight over that. I bet that's good. I heard, because of the current political situation, Ishmael Reed's Mumble Jumble has just been released. Are you serious? Really? Okay. So I might have to put that on my wish list. No, I'm just joking. But let me see if I missed anything. I love Sarah Vaughan, one of my favorite singers, yes. And that picture, like, when I looked at that, what are these cards? These cards are, oops, They're the same picture of Sarah Vaughan is the same thing as this, but there was I got that in Florida years ago when I used to live in Florida. And the phone is blinking off and on. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I got that in Florida at this black owned bookshop, and they had postcards of all these famous, wonderful, from political, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, singers, actors, anyone in some high regard that we all know of through, their. And I got an Alice Walker one, which the Alice Walker one is right there that I'm looking at. It's, if you guys have watched this channel, you know I have a framed Alice Walker and it says Dream on it. And she's got that big, huge fro. And since she's like one of my favorite writers of all time, I have that to remind me what I always wanted to do first. And so to keep up my writing. And I was actually looking at my book today and I was so proud. I read a paragraph and I was like, I did not write that. I am not that good. Yes, I am. But anyway, it's a book of postcards. That's what it is. And let me see where the publisher is. And then maybe, okay, it's by Pomegranate Art Books. And there's a code on here if you want to write this down. It's A865. So, Black Writers, photographs by Jill Crimmins, Pomegranate. And I think Jill's in the inside, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know why she's not in there. But anyway, and I don't think Jill Crimmins is black, but she's a photographer, and she put this together in 1996, no doubt. Okay? And so that's what it is. And basically, you just, you can pull them out. But they got a nice little preparation. There's Alex Haley. Yes, there's everybody's in there. It's, well, not everybody could be in there. Terry McMillan is in here. Just, I love it, as you can tell. But that one I don't want to tear up. So the other individuals, I have Martin Luther King in a frame like he's my daddy or something. But just beautiful pictures. And I'm so glad that they captured it. But I do want another one of James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni, because that one they're together. So I want one where they're separate. So... I'm looking. You're writing it down. Thank you, Yamini. And I got to get that Queen of Bebop. And the only thing is I need to write that down because you guys' conversation goes away. Remember I told you guys that? And I always take roll of who shows up. And I'm glad you guys did, because actually I put a video today asking you guys, should I go live tonight, since I had already put up a video. I was going to do it outside at the park, but I got so into listening to Salvage of the Bones. Yes. I think, that's one of those books you kind of want to just go straight through. You don't want anything else in your head, but yet when I get in my car, in the CD, I'm listening to that thriller, and then I come home and I'm listening to this right here. You guys, it's so good. I'm only on CD number 1, but the beginning of this book is really good. Now, I've read only one David Mitchell book, and this is David Mitchell's The Thousand Autumns of Jacob de Zoet, or what have you. If you have read this, let me know if you like it. But I got this suggestion from Maxwell over at Well Done Books, because I was wanting to know, after reading The Bone Clocks, which David Mitchell book should I go with next. So the first one is out of here, and let me show you how many there are, or tell you how many there are. There are 17 CDs, so this is a pretty long book. But the beginning of this, the birthing of the babies, that's all I'm going to say. It was so captivating. I didn't expect the beginning to be like that. It was really good. But if you want me to read the synopsis, just put a thumbs up or say yes. If not, I'm just going to just show you them, or we're going to go past 10 o'clock. And I'm not going to do that again. It's 9:41. So you guys know I'm still listening to Will Durant. Loving it. I stopped at Spinoza. I'm on that philosopher. The reason why I took this out of my car, because I was listening to my car exclusively. So when I'm riding around, I'm just like getting, all this wonderful knowledge. And I did buy Plato Republic because of this book. So the library is always making me buy books. And so that's why when I get so many free, I don't really mind paying the fees. So We've gone over Voltaire. I've told you, we've talked about this several times on the Booktube Live, but I'm really enjoying it. And I bought it upstairs so that I can take notes and get more books because I do want something on Spinoza. If you guys have read anything by the philosopher Spinoza, let me know. And I really like Voltaire, but I had already known about him. So I'm getting to a point where he's in the book talking about philosophers that I have not heard of or that are not as famous as Plato and so forth. So what am I missing? Angela, I saw Vaughn in Angela. Oh, you saw Angela Vaughn in 1983 or 84 in Detroit at the Detroit Jazz Festival. Phenomenal. I bet. I would have loved that. I mean, you could have asked. You could have asked, and we could have all went with you. But I was in high school, on my way to Germany in '84. So yeah. Okay, I love David Mitchell. Says Yamini. Favorite is Cloud Atlas, but Thousand Autumns is also great. Good. Well, let me tell you, I did get Cloud Atlas, and I actually have the physical book. But one time I was in my painting room. So I went to the library and I checked out the audio for it. And there was all these dang voices. And I was like, I can't. I can't with y'all. So I said, I'll just read the book. Then the movie is on Netflix or Hulu. I loved it. I loved the movie. So now I'm like, should I read the book? I'm sure I should. But I really loved the book. The movie. So, how did you feel about the bone clocks? I love the bone clocks, except the end, it started getting really, really weird. Like, it was all these characters, it was great. And then the end, with all this, it went out of worldly, like, way too far, a little bit for me. Oh, it is difficult. Read switches. See, it disappears on my phone. It is difficult to read, switches around with time a lot. And I didn't even mind that until the end. Until the darn ending. And not the ending was bad, it's just I was like, hey, I'm going to have to start going back and the names, that's what I didn't like. Some of the names that are so far-fetched and out there. Sometimes when I'm reading a book, I like the names to, for me to get the pronunciation down and, yeah, be able to just kind of flow with it. Like Chintu, beautiful names. Another book that was difficult for me to read and I never finished it was Midnight's Children. But the names were so beautiful that I do have other books by him that I can't wait to read. So, and he's just one of those people that I want all his books and I just want to delve in. I'm so sorry. That was a little tangent. Bone Clocks was also great. End is very typical Mitchell in a way, but yet not as great for me as Cloud Atlas. Yeah, Cloud Atlas was awesome. And oh my God, I just can't get over the fact that you've seen Sarah Vaughan. So, this is one of the audiobooks. The reason why I got this book in the library said, oh, she says, have you ever read anything by him? He's such a nice guy. And I said, that's why I'm reading him. I'm kind of trying to erase the fact that the person that's in the White House is actually there. Like, I'm trying to play dumb or something. Because are we crazy? Like, right now, are we just living in this world and acting like it's not coming to an end with that fool in office? I'm so sorry. But I kind of want to read somebody that's a peanut farmer. That's nice. And I've always loved his soft voice and his humility. So I'm going to read him. I got Barack Obama. I do. So I was like, let me check out Jimmy. And it's very short. Let me see how many CDs. And I love the way he says Rosalind when he's talking about his wife. So, 7. Another man that loves his wife, like Barack Obama. Just something about Jimmy Carter and Rosalind. You just knew it was real. And definitely Barack and Michelle. You know that's real. Because ain't no man ever looked at a woman. Anyway, so this is only 7 CDs. And then, I checked out Swing Time. You guys know I loved White Teeth by Zadie Smith. So, I checked out the audio. Because I got too many books. Physical books. Right here. And so my thing is just don't do it for the rest of this year because I already got my TBR for the fourth quarter. If you do not know what that is, I've already made a video about it and we discussed it last night. And we read 2 sentences from each one of the 4 TBRs for the fourth quarter for me. And there's something going on in the writing world that is the same. I had never noticed that until I read those first 2 sentences from Cold Mountain, City on Fire, and Luminaries, and Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch. They all did the same thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out them books and find out. Then I got this, you guys. And I'm trying to wrap up because it's 9:47. And I am going to look at what you're saying. I see smiley faces. I see, are those smiley faces? Or what are those? Skeptical reader. Yamini. I'd like that too. Hi. Miss Elliott. Is it Rachel? Dang, that's pretty. I like the way you spell that. That's pretty dope. And... I gotta scroll down. Ginger says, I tried to read N.W. by Zadie Smith and couldn't get into it. Now I'm going to read White Teeth and see how it goes. I read N.W. and what helped me, I didn't like it. I'm not even gonna lie. I was sitting outside. I was taking pictures of N.W. I'm at the coffee shop. I'm at Starbucks. I'm taking pictures. It's such a pretty cover. It's just plain black and white and red. You guys, well, if you follow this channel, you know those are my favorite colors. Black and white and a little red on top. Right? So I checked it out because I didn't know what they was talking about. Then I checked out the audio and that their dialect and their, just the way they were talking. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Kind of jumpy. They're a little crackheadish. Yeah, a lot of crackheadism and drugs going on. Some stuff I didn't know about. And it was almost like experimental and I didn't care for it. But it helped when I was reading it, when I would take it with me and read it, at the coffee shop and then come home and go, what the freak? And then I would listen to the audio. So I stayed away from White Teeth and I got White Teeth and I have On Beauty. And Dee Dee was telling me about On Beauty to check out maybe Howard's End first because it's supposed to be a retelling. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that later because I'm just not into her. And I was so happy to get her books because I watch her on YouTube and her, interviews with Chimamanda. I mean, just powerful, beautiful women. And it was just amazing. And so I was sold. And I was like, nah, yeah, not for me. Then I read White Teeth. And I was like, what? She's this good? So yeah, White Teeth was off the chain. And so that's why I got Swing Time because White Teeth sold me. And then I'm not sure if you ever heard of this, but I had never heard of this, and that's the beauty. I can't see because your comments are up there and they're going to disappear. Yep, they're gone. So, now, this one here, and I'm going to take off my glasses so I can see. King Peggy, an American Secretary, Her Royal Destiny. I swear, my mouth is juicing. Because you have to talk on this live thing. Because you guys can't talk back to me other than typing. So I have to try to be entertaining. Okay. An American Secretary, Her Royal Destiny, and the inspiring story of how she changed an African village. Read by J. Karen Thomas. And I think I mentioned to you guys, and I know this is very sexist of me, but because I am a girl, I'm a very girly girl sometime. I love to hear a man read to me. I would prefer a male narrator. And so being a person that just loved physical books at first and not wanting to ever get into the audiobook world, but the painting forces you to get in there because, obvious reasons. So I noticed every time I would listen to an audio book that was read by a woman and it felt like she was just doing too much. You say what? Like me? So anyway, I heard you. I really did. But click on the like button anyway. So I wasn't feeling it. And then there are some female narrators that are awesome. And then one time I was like, oh, I'm in a girlfriend book, ready type of feel or what have you. And I was getting ready for an art show. And it was coming up really soon. And so I was like, I don't want to think. And I don't want to get all this stuff. Because what happens when I listen to serious nonfiction audio while I'm painting, I start writing stuff down, going looking up the computer, and the painting takes forever. So it's just this wonderful just like involvement in that book, and I love that. So I listened to a Terry McMillan audio, and she makes fun of her sister who acts all bougie like Felicia Rashad, and she said, or act like Claire Huxtable, she said, and who's narrating it? Terry McMillan and Claire Huxtable, the real Felicia Rashad. So it was really cute, and I really liked that. So then I was like, oh, I can listen to more. And that's why. So anyway, for this particular book, and I'm going to look at your comments because I need to know what you guys are saying. She is beautiful. Literally, I don't know, this library goo. So I'm going to take out a CD and show you her face. See if you can see it. Is she gorgeous? Gore to the gist. And there are 11 CDs. So, wow, and she's beautiful. J. Karen Thomas is an award-winning voice artist with credits in radio, television, and film and stage. Her television appearances, yeah, somebody need to pay me for talking like that, include Criminal Minds. That's quite current. And ER. Yeah, when ER was good. And her stage credits include Dreamgirls and A Midsummer Night Dream. And she's beautiful, but this is a very tiny picture. Look at that. So anyway, let me look at your comments because you guys are talking to me and I like that. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Booktube Live would not be Booktube Live if you guys are not here. Because it's not my Booktube Live. It's our Booktube Live. King Peggy lives here in Maryland. Stop it, Angela. Why do y'all get everything? Aren't you going to a book festival? Ain't that, you got enough. Be more. Oh my gosh. NW was awful. Columbus says saw bits of the movie on the BBC and enjoyed it. I think Dee Dee told me about that there was a show, but I haven't gotten. I like a lot of BBC shows. And we're talking about BBC. I loved War and Peace. Oh my gosh, that was good. I will rewatch because I was talking to somebody on Twitter. I will rewatch, or that was Instagram. War and Peace. That was good. And yes, tomorrow, Angela. If I get a plane ticket, you got a couch or something because that's just not fair. Going to catch Chimamanda if I. And it is now 9:54. It's almost 10 o'clock. And assuming, that I could just get out of here real quick and go meet Angela in Bmore, Maryland, then maybe I can go and see all those wonderful events. I'm not finished, though. Seriously, Peggy. I'd never heard of this. And what I was going to do is just read a little bit of this on the back. Has anyone else heard of it other than Angela? Because she is up on everything. And she said, laugh out loud. And Maryland is for American home. Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry. Yes, tomorrow. I think you'd be a good narrator, Denise. Oh, I would like to. But you know what? It happens to this deep voice. I start sounding like a man. Loved Zadie's on beauty. Oh, Columbus. So that's good. Better than white teeth? You need to stop. So I need to actually read it? See, I'm seriously, NW made me shy away from her. So there's my copy of N Beauty. And it's very light, I love how, I'm serious. I think all of us do. We love book covers. And I love how they're different from country to country. So mine is very plain and it's very creamy and just, it's delicious. I think it's beautiful. I like the fact that there's hardly anything on there. Her name alone is enough to make a book cover look good. I don't know if you agree, but something about that Zadie Smith thing has got it going on. So definitely going to push that up on my list when I can get to anyone after 2018 because you guys know it's the blackout next year and African American blackout. So on a hot August night in 2008, Peggy Leen Bartels was startled awake by a long distance call. It was her cousin in Ghana with incredible news. Peggy's uncle Joseph, king of a beautiful village on the west coast of Africa, had died, and sacred rituals revealed Peggy to be the next king of Otam. I'm sorry, there's a crinkle in the library thing, so it looked like a Q. How could a secretary in Washington, D.C., an American citizen, be an African king? When I read that, I was like, yes, King Peggy's coming home with me. I need to know. So, and I don't even know if it's fiction or not, if it was real. I seriously just was like, really? I think I got this in the nonfiction section. Or did I? You tell me, Angela. It's 14 hours, 13 minutes. And yeah, she was born in Ghana and yeah, became an American citizen in 97. She has been a king of Otom, Ghana. I don't want to sound like the current POTUS by saying Nambi, Narnia or whatever oh, Lord. I'm embarrassed. Actually, I'm not embarrassed because that's not my people. So anyway, Columbus better than. Let me scroll down because I could start to get on a tangent. Read it, please. Okay, thank you, Columbus. I will. Because I really, are you serious? It's better than White Teeth because that I really, really like that. I'm serious. I need to know your book list, and so basically, I'm gonna stalk you again on Goodreads. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Karen, how you doing? It's almost 10 o'clock. We got 3 minutes, but I'm going to stay on here for you because we've been talking about Angela in More, getting ready to go to a book festival tomorrow. Also talked about King Peggy, who is, you may know of her because you read a lot. And so if you know about her, Angela has a little connection there that she's pretty much seeing everybody. And then I got Margaret Atwood, and I do have some Margaret Atwood. I do not have The Handmaid's Tale, but on the darn Hulu, I am watching it, and it is phenomenal. And I have Cat's Eye, and I have something else. I've got like 3 Orcs and Crate or something like that. I've got like 3 of her books, and then I have this one. Yes, I do actually have the physical copy. And I remember I got it, and Dee Dee and I think Camille were saying that it was part of a trilogy. Don't quote me. Don't make me say that they said something wrong. But I just thought that since I got a physical book of that, I'm not going to read it because I do have a lot of art to do, and I only got 1/4 of this year left. So another guy that I talk about a lot, Wally Lamb, I got his book, and it's very short, and I was kind of surprised to see it. Literally 1, 2, and it's only 6 CDs, you guys. So he's like a really good writer that I listen to, or read. I read his physical books. I've never ever read or listened to a Wally Lamb. So since that one was short, I was like, I'll go ahead and get that one. But this is the last Wally Lamb book that I dove into, and I really like his writing style. So that's then let me see, Karen. Run right. Sorry, I missed the chat. No problem. No problem. You're always here, and I'm gonna mark you down. I was reading the Decameron and got caught up. I was talking about the Decameron, and since I had only got to like page 48, I went back and started over, and now I'm only on page 27. I was supposed to be reading it outside at the park, and I was painting, or not painting, but drawing in my sketchbook, listening to Coltrane, and I'm listening to Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. And the beginning is great, and David Mitchell beginning is great. So I really got some good audiobooks that I'm listening to. And Columbus says, "Hey Karen, we missed you on here. Denise Denise has a lovely spirit. Thank you. I'll be trying, but when I get off of here, I'm gonna beat up somebody. And y'all ain't gonna see it. And then I'm gonna get on here tomorrow and be like smiling and stuff like I'm all innocent." Anyway, I'm just joking. But, we talked about A Curious Mind too. And so, Karen, are you the one that told me about Columbus being our friend on Goodreads? Because remember I did the video stalking my Goodreads friends, and I was talking about Columbus, and I went through his books and stuff. Somebody told me that. I don't know. But if you guys are not friends on Goodreads, remember, if you come in here on Booktube Live, you don't have to do anything I tell you to do. But I would appreciate that we follow one another since we're here together and chatting together. If you guys do not follow Yamini and her amazing, just to look at her bookshelves and see what's on her mind at such a young age, and to basically, and her book club is also on Goodreads. So just, if you haven't followed Yamini, she's the Skeptical Reader, and Karen and Columbus. Columbus, do you have a channel? And Denise Rader is here. Kia Dene. She's also on Goodreads. She's under K Danae. And Sharon, she pops in. And we also have Ginger. And so everyone that is here, just kind of maybe just look at the chat line and follow one another so we can keep up with each other. And maybe we'll do a buddy read, which I'm really bad at. Then I got this Whopper. I couldn't pass it up. As you guys, if you saw my video today when I went to the library and into the park, I had to take it. It's 2066 by Roberto Bolano, read by various narrators. And it's humongous. The artwork, yeah. What got me is how big this book is. The artwork is beautiful. The name is beautiful. Time Magazine's Best Book of 2008 and winner of the 2008 National Book Critics Circle Award for Fiction. I was sold. So then I look up Michael Reed's 2015, I believe, video when he used to have black hair and sit inside his house. He's just so gorgeous. He's fun to listen to. But he did a review on this, and I was like, oh, I just got that book today. So it's loads. It's a lot of CDs in here. My God. There's 16 in that one, and then it goes all the way to disc 31. Yes. So we did a lot of audio chat. We talked about the Ishmael Reed, Sarah Vaughan, Edward Don, just basically going through this beautiful book of writers. And she's sweet. Do you guys know who that is? Not by name, not by picture. I don't. No, I don't. But I got this picture and I love that picture. Dorothy West. And every time I read it, of course, I know who it is. But we just looked at this kind of inside and what I do to those, but I like to buy them individual. So Karen, this is who we were talking about, Miss Sarah Vaughan. Yeah, I have to lean this way. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. Beautiful voice. And Miss Beemore has a connection, Angela. So, yeah. Everybody. Columbus has seen her. Oh, in 83 or 84. Well, I saw Prince in 1983. I love Prince. Sure do. Yes. I saw Dorothy West in Boston years. It's expensive. Or I would say, girl, could you find me an apartment or something? A little studio apartment. I just kind of want to retire and live my life and paint and read books and write books and meet writers and readers just like you guys. So I really appreciate you guys being here. It is 10:04. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Because on my list to talk about today, seriously, was only the audiobooks, and what really captured my ear is the David Mitchell book. How it opens up is phenomenal. And Savage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. Oh my gosh. And I do have on my Audible N.K. Jemison's The Fifth Season, and I like it. And I love the narrator, and she's a female, and it's beautiful. But it's also something I think that I want to physically hold in my hand and actually see. I think I want to, I don't think. I know that next year during the blackout, I'm probably going to purchase all her books. So as you can tell, I'm doing the library thing, and then I'll do a lot of purchasing next year for 2018. So the Skeptical Reader says, sure do. I saw Dorothy West years ago. She was the cutest little woman who talked about knowing Zora back in the day. My favorite Zora book. Oh my gosh, you got to get all that in your ear and your mind. That is beautiful. My favorite Zora book is Dust Tracks on a Road. It's a green book. It's somewhere in here. And yep, this is my favorite. And it's still got a pink little tab in it. This is my absolute favorite. Actually, I'm lying. No, it is. I'm not. No, I'm not. I think this is. Yeah, let me think about that for a minute. Y'all speak amongst yourselves, because I'm seriously, because their eyes are watching God is amazing, totally amazing, And you can tell why that picked up commercially. Can you tell my window is right there by the road? So anyway, I don't know. I just I, see. I'm not going to retract because this, and look how old it is. It's like old and decrepit, just old. And I love old books. I'm pondering. That's why I'm so. And this is going to be recorded, so I'm trying to stay talkative. But this is my favorite, so I'm going to look and see what you guys say about that. And I love that picture. My mother turned me on to her, and it was I can't think of the book right now, but that's why I fell in love with her. And then I lived in Florida, Angela, where they have the Zora Neale Hurston Festival. Okay, did I ever go? Every time I wanted to go, the dang it was raining. I was like, and people would go, and when I was, especially when I was new, because I lived in Florida for like 16 years, and so I remember one year I tried to go, and it was seriously like pouring down raining, and I was talking to my friends. They're like, "We're here. The rain will go away. Just come on down. Whatever." I got busy and I didn't go. So, oh my God, I love Hurston. Yes, Yamini, she made me cry so hard when I read Their Eyes Are Watching God. That book is so good. Like you, I just literally clapped. I was like, oh, like a kid, like ah, I want to be that good. And then, oh my goodness. So I have always wanted to go to the Zora Neale Hurston. Yes. So maybe we could go because when I go back home, because I still call Florida is like my second home. I'm originally from Kansas. Langston Hughes, Gwendolyn Brooks, Barack Obama, the Kansas folks. So, but when we lived in Florida, I did go to, they still have a festival every year for that, of course. And then they have, I forget where it is. It's in Tampa, but it's a book festival. I just think it's called the Black Book Festival. But you'll see independent writers and so forth and so on. And there used to be a black-owned bookstore over in that area where the festival was. And her name was Felicia. I can't remember her last name, that owned this place for like years upon years. And when I wrote my poetry book, I had a reading at her book shop and her bookstore. And do you call them bookshops or bookstores? You see how I just fumbled because some people call them bookshops because the black owned bookstore here is called the Doc Book Shop. And so she owned a black bookstore in Tampa, Florida. Her name was Felicia, and and I had my art in there. She said, you should bring your art because I had my art in my poetry book. And so I did a reading there and was selling my book there. And all my coworkers came out and it was just nice. And, the next person after me that had a reading was Elin Harris. I was like, yes, but unfortunately, I mean, she had that store forever, and she passed away. She had cancer, and so the store, of course, closed. It was a family store, and it was just awesome to be a part of her legacy. And she was just sweetest person to talk to. And I actually used to go into her store. It's probably where I got the Sarah Vaughan. I was telling you guys earlier how I used to get those from a black-owned bookstore, and it was hers. Wow. So where is Eatonville? Is in Florida, and let's see here. Lakeland is where we were, and then I know it was going east from us. Don't get me wrong because I never made it, and but it wasn't far. It wasn't far at all. I was gonna say I'm gonna look it up on my phone, but you're on I'm on my phone, so it's not far at all because, like I said, I was calling my friends and they were there talking about, oh, the rain is gonna stop. You should just come on, but. They get some serious downpours, and then it's just like a beautiful paradise. I love Florida. And so even where I lived just recently, where Irma hit, we're in Central Florida. Their lights were out. That's how bad Irma was. That's crazy. So basically where I lived was 3 hours away from Miami. 3 hours. Now here, where Hurricane Harvey hit, we're 4 hours away from Houston and 4.5 hours away from Galveston. So yeah, my sister's like, you need to get out of there. And I was like, Sabrina, girl, I'm 4 hours away. I mean, what can happen? So anyway, yeah, but we still, you feel the effects. and I don't know, the world has kind of gone crazy. And then you have Mexico's death toll is just like climbing, and like watching those videos of people just like filming it, and the buildings are just like crashing and wavering, and you're thinking, run, get out of there. But what would you do? I mean, really, what would you do? So the world is crumbling down. Now, don't get me crying tonight. Do not do it. Eatonville, Florida. So it is a town in Orange County, and Orange County is southeast of where I used to be, I believe. So, and it's not far. And yes. All right. So it is now currently 10:12 p.m. And where is Eatonville? Near what large city? Okay, so I lived, Lakeland, Florida is like dead center. The biggest county in Florida is Polk County. And I'm 25 minutes away, 30 minutes away west from Tampa. I sit right here, Lakeland. Tampa's right next door, and Orlando's on the other side. Orlando's east, Tampa was west. I was in the middle. Eatonville was kind of like going that way, like a southeastern thing, I believe. I believe. So it's really close because, I mean, it's a little tiny place. It's a peninsula. So literally everything was close. Like 3 hours and I was on Miami Beach and South Beach. We used to go there all the time. And then, see, that's wrap up music. Hold on, Johnny. So 3 hours away from Miami, an hour and a half away from Dayton, Daytona, 3 hours away the other way to Jacksonville, Florida. It's where I used to have my art shows. And 30 minutes from Tampa, so we were right in there. I mean, I was 45 minutes away from Disney World, and Eatonville was closer to Disney World than I was, I believe. Does that help? I'm sorry. I'm sitting up there trying to see everything. It's just so beautiful. I love it. Totally love it. No matter. There we go. Okay, so it says no markers are up there, though. Oh, what did I miss? I'm sorry. Did they ever find her burial site? I have no idea. You know, I read about her years ago, but I haven't kept up, and I don't know the answer to that. Even if I read it years ago, I'm not going to remember. I'm sorry. I'm really bad that way. But I do know that, yeah, she was buried in an unmarked grave. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they found that, and I don't know if maybe if I would have made it to the festival, I'd find out a little bit more. So when you go, you need to let me know, and then I can show you around Florida. Because I definitely know my way around. Because it's so small. Literally, either way you go, you're going to run into the ocean. It's just beautiful. And so sad, I know that Alice Walker, when looking for it one time. Yes. Oh, and that's what I was going to say earlier about Alice Walker, because I'm looking at her picture. It's also, Yamini, if you're still here, is one of the postcards that I had when I bought Individual, and I've got her framed. And one of the things I loved about Langston Hughes and Alice Walker is because Langston Hughes wrote Alice Walker letters. Yeah, I was like, you know, it like boggled my mind. I was like, huh? What are you talking about? Is that true? And when I don't know, man, I just got all sentimental, and it was a beautiful thing. And I saw Alice Walker, Angela, here at TCU, Texas Christian University, and it was a beautiful moment. That woman is special, and she is. I was telling you guys about this, if you ever heard me talk about when I went to go see her, how the journalist or the person that's doing the interview with her, you kind of better know something about Alice before you step there and ask her some questions, because she's not having it. She's not going to repeat herself. You should have known some of these things, you know, before you brought me here. And she wasn't nasty about it at all. It's just that you kind of should have known. And she's so peaceful and so graceful with it that I was like, ooh, don't ask no stupid questions. Please don't ask her, what made you write the color purple? She's not going to answer that. She's not going to answer it at all. But I love her too. Such a beautiful spirit, plus a brilliant writer. Yes, I have a whole collection, and actually, even I think on this whole time that I've been on Booktube, I haven't read an Alice Walker book because I had read them all the ones that I have, and um, and my daughter, I think, read the one about the chicken. She was telling me, she said, "Mama, you was right. Alice Walker." I was like, "Yeah, she does her thing. She just does Alice." But I love Alice Walker. I think one of my well, I talked about my favorites already, and yeah, so these are some of them. Oh, there's the Book of Harlan. I knew it was back there. I thought I moved it, but I didn't. So my favorites. That's my daughter's favorite also. And that picture, totally love. Possessing the Secret of Joy, but my all-time favorite is this one right here. The Temple of My Familiar. And look at that. And truthfully, I think one of my loves for her, not just her writing, but she looks like my mother. My mother is gorgeous. And there's something about Alice Walker that reminds me of my mother. And my mother had locks all the way down to her hips. So these are a lot of the Alice Walker books that I have. And yeah, my Alice. You guys, this has been fun. As it always is. I'm so glad I decided to do this because it is so much better to just keep moving forward. And if I have an idea to do it, and it just made me have the idea to do it when I kept getting locked out of my computer because I have so much stuff on it. I was like, I'm tired of editing videos. I'm just going to talk and then try to edit it and put it all together all perfect. And I'll watch all these videos, not just Booktube. I'm talking about videos on YouTube with people that just are really technical savvy. And I am not there yet. But what I do like to do is just connect. So why don't I just connect live? And then they'll record it and then they'll play it. Work is done, son. This has been Booktube Live. I love you guys, and I hope that you will join me tomorrow. I have no idea what time tomorrow. I think I asked you people on Sunday what would be the best time. I don't want to wait until 9 p.m. on Sunday. I kind of want to do it early because it is a work night, school night, whatever for people, and I kind of want to have my Sunday evening to read the Decameron and get caught up. Tell me and I will listen. Actually, every time I ask somebody to put it down in the comments below, nobody does it. So if you could, and if you would like to join in tomorrow or just any Sunday, because I would like to do it on the same time every single Sunday like I'm doing now. And I think Saturday, I'm just going to have to stick to the 9 o'clock hour, just like I said on Monday through Friday. I think that's best for me. And it looks like it's best for a lot of people too. So Angela says, good night all. I love her essays as well. Yes, the Temple of My Familiar. And such a beautiful spirit plus a beautiful writer. I read that one. Let me scroll down. I get the struggle. I will try to join if I have time during these shows. No problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Yamini. I really do. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye, Columbus. Bye, Denise. Bye, Yamini. Bye, Karen. Bye, Ginger. Bye, Angela. Have fun. Have all kind of fun. And anybody who I've missed, see you guys later. Bye-bye. I got to push finish. Oh, hold on.